Gamers, we're champions of England. You'll never sing that. This person wants 6 minutes of my time. 6 minutes. This better be fucking good, okay? Or I'm gonna send harassment to your house. His name is John Harassment, by the way. He's gonna follow you from behind, but then every time you turn around and look at him, he's gonna look away and nonchalantly whistle with his hands behind his back, so the police will never know. Let's see what you're up against, though.
Hi, I'm Reappear, and today we're going to talk about whimsy and how to make a life that is worth living.
I would say what makes life worth living is the little bakery, because it has these like mini pizzas, and you warm up a little bit. Sometimes I put extra cheese on them or like a slice of salami. I haven't gone that this time, but sometimes they're very, very nice. When I say sometimes, I mean all the time. If you're asking me right now, what is one tip, Moresty, I can use to make my life a little more whimsical? Allow me to take a drink so I'm not talking with my mouth open. I'd say it's try to always have something to look forward to. It sounds like a tiny thing, but believe me, it makes a world of difference when you know, oh, okay, like on Saturday, I'm doing this with my friends, or on in July, I'm going on a holiday with blank. Just schedule stuff. Schedule stuff. You have no idea how great it is when you have something to look forward to. That's why I love football so much, because I know that every weekend I can watch my beloved football team play, and the rest of my next week depends. The mood depends on how well they did. So do that. Okay, that's my one tip.
One of my biggest insecurities growing up was that I was overly friendly, overly whimsical, and creative to the point where I came across as unserious and naive. I'm a 24-year-old woman that wears heart-shaped glasses, shirts with fan art that I've made, and Converse with fruits embroidered into them. I viewed myself as the poster child for goofiness. And recently, I've been coming to terms with being less insecure about doing everything that I do with a touch of creativity, because I'd rather come across as unserious than come across as fucking miserable.
True! Oh my god, that's amazing! For me, it's like, I kind of had this middle ground where like, I don't want to come across as miserable, but at the same time, I don't want to wear my whimsy on my sleeve. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm at the same place mentally as you. It's just, for me, I'm just like, I'd rather wear all black when I'm outside. Not because I'm not whimsical, but because I'd rather just like, I don't want the world to see that I'm whimsical. I'd rather just like someone talk to me and be like, shit, that Moresty guy was kind of cool, wasn't he? That's what I'd rather, personally. That's just kind of my style of doing it. That's what I do. No one else needs to know that.
In other words, being whimsical genuinely makes my life more livable, and it probably could for you too. So what does it actually look like to live a life with whimsy? Well, for me, it comes down to 4 basic tenets.
Give us the tenets.
The first is that you have to listen to your inner child. Children are the epitome of whimsy. You give a child something as dull as a rock, and they will find a way to create a wonderful world around it. The truth is, when we get older, we tend to lose sight of that which makes us childlike.
I agree. I think it's one of those things where, as an adult, you become like a bit more, I won't say fixated, but like, you kind of want to do things efficiently. You want to do things by the books. You just kind of want to, firstly, it just makes things, hiding your power level, true. It kind of makes things easier in a world where when you're an adult, sometimes it's just a bit too overwhelming to navigate. But sometimes you just do have to embrace that inner child. I think if you're asking how does it manifest in me? It manifests in me when I'm streaming a video game. One thing I love doing, you see, I think in my Donkey Kong Bonanza playthrough exemplified this the best. How many times when I play that game, if you guys remember, where I'm just like, oh, you're obviously supposed to use Snake Bonanza. Do you know, can I do it with Ostrich though? Can I do this while riding a rock with Ostrich? Because I'm just like, I just want to see if I can. It's not the optimal way. The game is obviously telling me you do it this way, but I'm just like, what if though? It'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it? I was like, there's no real reason for me to do it like differently from the way the game asks. Kind of just one with though, because it's funnier. So that's kind of what I'm like. You kind of just got to do something because it's funny, you know? Just because it's funny.
We often look back on our childhood as the fondest moments and wonder what happened to us.
Yeah, and this is why, and this is the reason why 9 times out of 10, if someone goes to me and goes, hey, mister, do you want to do this thing? Like 9 times out of 10, if you're someone I fuck with, the only reason I'm going to say no is if I'm actually busy. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm just like, you know, I'm just there for the experience. I'm just there for the vibe. I'm there to have a funny story to tell later, you know? So if you're like, hey, mister, do you want to like, it's the reason I went on the Zelda Dudes podcast, because I saw their podcast and it's very Zelda focused. I'm just like, what the hell is a tourist like me going to do on this podcast? And I'm just like, fuck it, why not? let me just go on there. And they were lovely gentlemen to have a chat with, but I definitely felt a little out of place there. But it was very, very fun at the same time. That's what it is. Yeah, you have to embrace a little bit of like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Let's do it.
And I don't blame us for that.
Yeah, I don't blame people for that.
You do not have to worry about rent, student debt, and all the things in between. So what I mean by you should listen to your inner child is that you should find ways to fuse your adult responsibilities with your childlike sensitivities. For me, that translates to dressing exactly how I want. If I'm wearing a blue outfit, I like
again, for me, that translates to I kind of just like doing whatever like comes to mind. That's kind of what I'm like. So it manifests differently in everyone. Obviously with her, it's like clothing. With me, it's just like activities. With you, it might manifest a different way, but it is very, very important. In a adult world that's like got a lot of doom and gloom, you have to make a lot of the joy. It's why I tell people when, with birthdays is like the ultimate example where when you're a kid, your mom organizes a party, you invite your friends, and like most of the heavy lifting is done for you. As an adult, like you can't just sit there and be so, oh, no one remembered my birthday. Did you remind people it was your birthday? Did you invite them out to do something? No. Brother, your friends like have wives and kids now. Did you expect them to drop everything for a random day on the calendar? Yeah? Be real with me. Come on, do something. Do something!
Wear my shark-themed earrings to match it. And if I'm wearing shark-themed earrings, why not do some shark-themed eyeliner? You get my point. For me, it gets to a point where, if I'm not dressed whimsically, I feel suffocatingly inauthentic. And sometimes I wonder if I should start dressing a little bit more sensible, but then I realize that if I starve myself from authenticity for the sake of how others perceive me, I'll end up living a life that everybody but me wanted me to live.
Yeah, I'd say, again, like I said, that manifests for me in like the things I say, because like I pride myself in like my ability to just, not my ability, but my consistency of just like saying how I feel. Now, obviously, tact is an entirely different ballgame, but with me, you always have that authenticity of like, you're never going to get me in private saying a different thing to what I say in public. It's just not going to happen. To me, that's where the inauthenticity comes from. I might say it differently. Like in private, obviously, if it's a private conversation that isn't being recorded, I might be a bit more like flippant with it. But you put me in front of a camera and I'll say the same thing, just maybe a bit more diplomatically. It's the same opinion, regardless. But that's kind of how it manifests in me. It's like the idea of someone like me being told I couldn't say something on, like if it's like a secret, if someone told me to keep it, obviously that's different. But like the idea of like me, oh, Moresty, you shouldn't do this, because it's like, no, shut up, I don't care. What are you talking about? I'll say what I want. All right, what are you talking about? Why would I, like, under what circumstances would it behoove me to like not be honest? It doesn't. Go away.
The second tenet is that you should lead with your heart as much as you lead with your mind.
Yeah.
I think that if more people led with their heart, the world would just be a better place. So many people are so negative that their pessimism radiates onto other people. Have you ever been in an office with a grumpy coworker? It's like that. Some people are great at making the world feel inhospitable.
Oh, believe me, guys, I'm telling you this now. If you're this kind of person, and I mean this as honestly as I possibly can, please fucking stop. I'm serious. Please fucking stop. Life is already more miserable enough as is. We don't need you just like making things worse. and that's not to say you can't be upset because things are happening. But like, if you're, I'll say this to be a bit more candid, right? If the very first thing that comes out of your mind when someone suggests something is, I don't know, like, what do you mean you don't know? Unless you can give me like a reason, I don't care. I don't care. For me, it's like, if like you invite me out to do something, I'm like, sure, I'm in, let's fucking go. It's like, well, how are you going to get back, Moresty? Like, the trains are not going to be gone. I'll find a fucking way. Don't worry about it, man. I will be there. Do you know, I said I'll be there. Let's do something, That's kind of where I'm at. We'll sort the particulars later. And if it turns out I can't do it, then sure. But I'm not going to be like, what about this? What about, like, obviously sometimes it behooves you to think, but like more often than not, I'm just kind of like, I will do the more whimsical thing first and then figure out if I need to read it back, then the opposite. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to be that kind of guy that's like, but what about this? And you have to go, but this is like, okay, but what about it? No, for me, it's the opposite. If you say, I'm like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And then if it turns out it's unfeasible, I'm like, okay, maybe we should like maybe we should think of something first. You know, maybe we should plan this out a bit better. You know, I feel like, hey, Moresty, let's go to Japan. I'm there. Unfortunately, my wallet has like a colony of spiders. So unless you're paying for both of us, then I don't think I'll be there, unfortunately. I used to be friends with someone who was always miserable and always complained. Every day he'd complain to me about the state of the world, and it kind of just made me miserable too. Yeah, I think that's the... that's the number one most important thing, is that if you know there's someone in your life that's doing this, I promise you, without realizing it, they're making you way more miserable. That is a promise. That's an absolute promise. The number one worst person you can be around is that kind of person. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what I do when I meet that kind of person? I make fun of them for it, and I don't mean it like a cuntish sort of way. Like, say, for example, I'm doing a shift with a coworker who's a bit of like a pessimistic Perry. I'll just have fun with it, because I'm like, if you're going to be miserable, I'm going to like have fun with your misery. That's what I'm going to do. I'll turn around and explain. Thank you so much, Ross.
Food for the spider colony.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's just that time of month where I'm kind of waiting for the end of the month to roll around, you know? I appreciate it. Like, for example, let's say, for example, I was talking to a coworker and be like, oh man, another long shift, right? And it's like, yeah, that explains the long face of yours, eh? Listen, if you're going to try and make me miserable, I'm just going to have fun with it. I don't care. I'm just going to make fun of it. If that requires me to make fun of you, I'll do that. I don't care. Or sometimes what I'll do is whenever they go into like, I'm like, do you think the woman over there knows that like there's like a piece of tape stuck to her knee? Do you see that? It's like, no, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's just, yeah, strange. Sorry, were you saying something? I don't because and that's not to say you can't talk about like miserable things, obviously, but there's a time and place for that. You know, there's a time and place. Like, that's not to say I don't be miserable, but like, you know, for example, when you tune into a stream of mine, you're not going to get that side of me, because that just doesn't make for good entertainment. It just doesn't. I'll get weird if I have to, but I'm not going to be like, let's sigh, oh, everyone is being, oh, you guys are, oh, shut up, man, just go away. You guys want like the funnies or the reals, one of the two, you know? When I feel miserable, I want to lock myself in a room and do nothing. So I once thought I'm miserable, so they don't deserve it rubbing off on them. I think you might be like going a bit too far in the opposite direction. If you're miserable, obviously that doesn't mean make everyone else's life more miserable, obviously. I think if you have the self-awareness to know you're being miserable and other people don't like it, I think you should also have the self-awareness to be able to talk the problems out to make yourself a bit less miserable. I think that could work, because, yeah, like the kinds of people that are usually quite miserable don't know that that's what they're like. But you obviously know that's what you're like, so you can potentially, like, potentially find other ways to, like, get yourself out of that funk, you know? Unless it's something a bit long term, in which case that's obviously that's a bit different. But I know if I'm in a funk, then like I'm not going to avoid talking to my fiance because I'm in a funk. I'm going to talk to her because she knows how to get me out of the funk. So I trust her to do that. I still love my life, you know. That's kind of how it works. It's funny because that'd make me less miserable. Oh, hell yeah, it would.
Your job is to do and be the opposite. I used to be the type of person that felt I needed to set a certain impression of myself to people so that they wouldn't mess with me. And sometimes that's still a very applicable thing, like if you start a new job or enter a hostile environment. But I also realized that if I carry myself with positivity and kindness, then I'm basically impenetrable. It's as if whimsy creates a bubble around you that very few can burst because you won't let them.
Yeah, it's like, I imagine like if someone doesn't like me, it must be really hard to not like me. And not because like I'm such a likable person, because like if you're like, man, fuck that Sir Moresty guy, he's such react slop, like, you know, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, where's the lie? Damn, that Sir Moresty guy's so mean, and rightfully so, you dumb bitch. Like, it must be really hard, because it's like wherever you throw at me, like I'm just gonna be like, true. And yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It must be kind of hard in that sense, because like, what could you possibly say that would get under my skin? Not really that, but like, and if you did say something, like, I might be annoyed briefly, but then I just can get rid of you and it'd be over, you know? That's the thing. It must be, it's hard, I'm telling you. It must be really, really hard. Beat him up, shaking his desk right now.
A lot of people mistake happy, whimsical people for being weak or naive. But the reality is that the ability to not let others' shitty vibes ruin your day, week, or life is far more intimidating. For me, I actually feel bad for people who don't exude whimsy now, because it's far more liberating than holding on to too much frustration.
Yeah, true, honestly.
The third tenet is to make everything creative, especially boring tasks. Life is full of monotony.
My favorite instance of this, chat, is I've not really been using TikTok a lot lately. I say that, but ever since we won the league, I've been scrolling on TikTok a lot and liking every Arsenal-related post of people celebrating. But like outside of that, I've not really been using TikTok that much. But me and Twilight decided to like make a dumb game. It's literally just like the dumbest game I'm playing now. What we'll do is we'll both be sitting on the sofa scrolling TikToks at the same time, and like I'll give her like a lose condition, and she'll give me a lose condition. And whoever hits it first, like, loses, essentially. So, for example, I'll be like, honey, in the next 20 TikToks, you need to avoid finding someone with a poster in the background. And then she gives me, like, a fair equivalent. She'll be like, okay, in the next 20 TikToks, you need to avoid finding someone who is wearing gloves. So then we'll go, like, 1, 2, 3, scroll. And then if someone loses, then, like, they have to, like, make dinner. That's what we do. It's, you gotta find... You just got to find something. What happens to someone? You just choose the punishment. Really, it depends. You can. It's a game we just made up, so you can make up the punishment or make up the game. That's how it goes. You just got to make stuff up. That's how. That's great. That sounds fun. Yeah. So also what you can do, by the way, if you guys are actually playing that game, if you end up doing 20, because we do it to 20. Sometimes 15. Sometimes we do 15 if we're feeling of a shorter game. But 20 is usually a good cap, or 15, right? If both of you end up like winning essentially by not bumping into the thing in 15 scrolls, do it again, but make it more like vague. Like I think we had a game where we won 3 times in a row. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do it. Lose conditions if you find a black guy. All right. And it's like, okay, lose conditions if you find a white girl. And it's like, where did you slow down? So like make it like general to start, and then like make it more vague until someone loses. That's how you do it, gamers. If you're playing it, that's how you play it, okay? If you took the idea from me, no need to quit it, okay?
Boredom. There's no way you can file your taxes with a big smile on your face unless you were getting a huge tax refund that year.
I wish I was.
But that doesn't mean you can't find ways to creatively engage with that which is void of creativity. Sometimes that can translate to something a little bit silly, like putting food coloring in your iced coffee so it turns blue. Other times it can be reminding yourself that you are part of such a big world and imagining ways that your existence might ripple in ways that surprise you. Maybe you go on a hike and pick up a small seed on your shoe that ends up falling off on the complete opposite end of the city a few days later. Maybe that seed actually survives, and in 30 years stands tall as a proud tree that only exists because you do too. The fourth tenet in Whimsy...
Yeah, sometimes it's like... Sometimes I stop to think just how much of a ripple effect life is, you know? Like, if I didn't bump into my old friend group while playing Call of Duty, none of you guys would be watching me right now. Sometimes I just stop and think of like all the butterfly effects that had to happen to get me to where I am, and I'm just like... Man, life is insane like that, isn't it? Fucking crazy.
Is actually the most whimsical because it's the most unpredictable. The fourth tenet is resilience. It seems antithetical that a concept as wonderful as whimsy could be associated with something as rigid and intimidating.
What would you do instead? I have no fucking idea. I'll be so real with you. I've been doing this hobby for like now turned part-time job for like 10 years. I'm just like, it's been so long where like I can't imagine a version of me where I wasn't doing this. So I'm just like, that's like a fundamentally different person. If you asked me that 5 years ago, I might have an answer, but like I don't think I have an answer now. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I have an answer. Because if it wasn't for this, like think about it, just be real, like deep it for a second. If I didn't meet a friend group while playing Call of Duty, I wouldn't be doing this. And if I wasn't doing this, who knows what the fate of my job would be? Would I still be working security? Would I have gone back to university? Would I have moved career? Would I have done so? I would never have met my fiance, neither. So that's a massive pillar in my life I wouldn't have had. I wouldn't have met Scott the Wasn't either, my best friend. Yeah. So like, it's just, there's so many ripple effects that you can do that starts with that point where I'm just a different guy. I'm just such a different fucking guy, man. I owe some of my friendships to shitty drawings I made years ago. They may be shitty, but that doesn't mean, they mean a lot to my friends. Yeah, literally. It's crazy. So crazy. I have no goddamn clue. Yeah. Especially like if you're on the younger side as well. Like, it's even worse because like there's like less of your life to look back on without it. For me, I'm just like, yeah, it's been 10 years. It's been so fucking When I think about I've been doing this shit for 10 years, man. What the fuck? I have no idea what kind of guy I'd be. When I played Pikmin Bloom for 2 weeks, I'd not have been doing basically anything I'm doing right now. Crazy ripple effects. When you really deep it, sometimes it just gets insane. I've heard posts online of the people that say they didn't think they'd make it past 20, celebrating their 30th birthday. That's kind of me. If you asked me at 16 would I have made it to like 20, I would have been like, I don't think I would have gone through with it, just to clarify, but like I did not think I was gonna be that long for this world. But like now I'm just like, get me into a life expectancy at the minimum, okay?
As resilience. We have to trust
you got me for another 50 years at least, okay?
Because resilience is the wrapping paper that keeps everything together. If you're resilient, it means that you're able to push through hard times and keep being positive. A lot of people look at positive, happy people and think that they're always like that it's an effortless endeavor. Oh,
trust me. Oh, it's not. Like, being the way I am, it takes a bit of effort. I'm not gonna, like, it comes naturally to me. But the only reason this comes naturally to me is because I've been doing it for so long. You know, it's like a muscle. It's like when people say like, man, how do you like talk for like 6 hours sometimes and just like not run out of things to say or not like get tired? I'm like, built different, innit? I'm fucking built different, bro. I'm built different. But it's just a muscle. Like I've been doing it. When I first started streaming, I could barely last an hour and a half without my throat giving out. The trick is to just stay hydrated, by the way. That's just the number. That's what it is, really. I have like a water bottle, a Red Bull, I have some cider in the fridge, Coke cherry, and pink lemonade. That's what I got. So I'm never running out. There's no reality in which the Sir Moresty house runs out of drink. That's how it goes.
But the reality is, being so in control of your life, environment, and thoughts that you're able to roll through life with a pocket full of sunshine is actually pretty tough.
I think that it's really tough when you haven't really had the time to really think about how your brain works. And that's not like a dig at anyone or a dig at you if you haven't done that. But like, I know, for example, when I was 20, the idea of like perceiving my own thoughts or just like having I don't know if this describes you, chat, but I remember when I was in my 20s, I'm like, oh, like I need to be doing something because if I'm left alone with my thoughts, I'm going to hate myself. That was me to a T when I was like 19, 20. But like now, I love the idea of being alone in my own thoughts. It lets me think. It lets me think on my own. It lets me be introspective. It lets me reflect. It keeps me humble. I stay humble. I stay very humble in that regard. But like when you're younger, you haven't really figured out who you are, and you're not comfortable with yourself long enough to be introspective enough to figure out how your brain ticks, so you know where the dials of whimsy go. Because obviously for every, like I can explain what keeps me whimsical, but that might be like a nightmare for you. Do you know what I mean? So I can't give you the key to it. It's impossible for me to. I can give you like tips and what have you, but I can't give you the key because only you know how your brain works. You know exactly what makes you tick, how to avoid those triggers, and be able to like navigate those triggers if they were to come about. Like if you're asking me, for example, I hate the idea of like anyone who isn't a part of like my sphere of like content being involved in my stuff, and as a result I don't really talk about anyone. Like I don't name any of my like sisters by name or like my aunties or uncles or anything like that. I usually keep it vague because I'm just like, I know if I was to keep talking about them and someone was to like say something the wrong way about them, I'd get really fucking annoyed about that, you know? So I'm just like, if I don't name drop them or like do anything like that, it makes them not a part of like my world. Therefore, I know people, I know I'm not gonna get annoyed. Because if someone makes fun of me, I'm okay with that. But if someone made fun of someone I talked about for a reason, that pissed me off. So what do I do to avoid it? I don't talk about them. Or if I do, I keep it vague and say like my uncle did, or my older brother did, or my sister did, or my auntie did, or my mum did, you know? Unless it's Ozzy, because Ozzy's been a part of my content, so he's a mod in my chat, so obviously he's here. But yeah, that's what it is. Like everyone has their own like things that make them tick. You gotta figure that out. You gotta figure that out and know how to navigate them, you know? I'm thankful I had this time to reflect, because at 28, introspection builds perspective, which makes me enjoy life even more. It's what happens. It's called the Great Mellowing. That's what I call it. I call it the Great Mellowing. There comes a time when like, somewhere between like 24 and like 27, where like you just start mellowing out and thinking and being like, oh shit, I've got like 50 more years of this shit. I better figure out how the old noggin works, eh? And then once you do, you're like, oh, then you achieve some nirvana. It's amazing how that works, chat. It's amazing, trust me. If you haven't reached that process now, you'll reach it soon, okay? That's a promise.
Honestly, as whimsical as I say I am, I struggle with this too. The other day, I was rejected from a job for being too cheery. It was a job where my sole task was to support other people.
That's
but
shitty.
instead of getting down about it, even though I could low-key use the money, I know that I am resilient and that I will be just fine.
So it's a place you didn't even want to work at anyway. Do you know what I mean? So it just doesn't. The way I see it is that, like, yeah, could I have used the money? But I'm just like, I would have hated working there anyway. So what's the point? You know.
So, a big part of being whimsical is actually utilitarian. You utilize whimsy to push through life, regardless of the obstacles it throws at you, with a strong sense of creativity and positive thinking. The art of being whimsical is such that it provides you a philosophy to live life with as much gratification as possible. In finding satisfaction or fun in even the most shitty or mundane situations, you become the type of person that makes a room light up. And in times where you lose your whimsy, that's also okay too.
Yeah.
That's all part of the journey. And
I think it's one of those things where when you become one of those people that can, like, be a beacon for others, when people notice, if you've made enough of an impact in people's lives where, like, they notice that you're not being your usual self, people will help. You know what I mean? Like, it might take sometimes reaching out, but, like, people will help. Like, I know, for example, whenever I'm having, like, a rough day, I know the people in my life are like, hey, listen, mister, what the fuck's happening? Like, it's been like a whole 90 seconds since you laughed. What the hell is, what's happening here, bro? Just sat up with you, and I'm just like, Benjamin H wouldn't be my friend. I know. Benjamin H hates me, that's why.
Wouldn't be whimsy without a little bit of turbulence anyway. So I make you a pinky promise that if you add a little bit of whimsy to your life, it will all get a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
This video was different and a little bit shorter than my usual video.
I agree, games. Oh my god, I agree. Yes. 6 minutes well spent, baby. I love whimsy and joy. I love whimsy and joy, Charlie. I love it. It's amazing. Big fan. You're not a repeater. I'm gonna subscribe. I'll keep notifications off though, okay? You're not getting my notifications just yet. Okay, you have to earn that, all right? I'll subscribe, okay? I'll subscribe because I'm feeling whimsical. You know, I'm feeling whimsical. But yeah, honestly, like, it's interesting to put, like, kind of somewhat of the life philosophies I follow in a 6-minute video. So that was actually really good. I really like that. They made a Doom and Master. No, this was good. This was a small YouTuber gem in a sea of small YouTuber slop. You know how much I love slandering them. Let's have a look at the comments, shall we? And see what everyone had to say. How many views did this end up? Oh, it's got 35k. Okay, this did a little bit of algorithm surfing, didn't it? Sick. I apologize for the fast speaking. I've often thought I speak too fast. I think you were fine. Still beginner, but it feels like a hobby. I think you were doing fine in that as well. Being silly is serious business. True. Thank you for saying that it's okay to lose your whimsy. I was non-stop whimsy train going through life with an iron fist of love. Came to a complete dead halt a few years ago. And I finally had a chance to start resuming some things that I was is completely gone. Hang on. But that person that I was is completely gone. I have no idea who they were, so it's really hard to pretend to be them or to do nice things that I like to do. It's funny, because they had all the answers for what I'm dealing with now. I'm slowly trying to thaw my own eyes. I hope it's done soon. Yeah, it happens sometimes. You know, it's just life. I'm so glad this resonated. I also wanted to add to the point Ian is because I'm so similar to you. I fell off the whimsy train but a few years ago, but I got back on not that long ago. I actually think there's people who lose but regain their whimsy end up being better off because of it. And now we know what hardship is like. We know that good times are even better, if that makes sense. Yeah, I agree. It happens. Sometimes life will drain the whimsy out of you, but when you come back stronger, it's even better, okay? Remember, what the horses consider plays, the monkey considers business. True. You know what? Pin that guy. As Taddy Hill once said, wouldn't the world be better off if we took the nonsense more seriously? That's true. I agree, gamers. Everyone is so whimsical in this comment section. Oh my god, everyone's so whimsical. Yes. Feels great. It does I wouldn't hide because you're too, yeah, literally, not even worth it. I filed my tax with whimsy, but now the IRS is auditing me. Listen, HMRC, don't do that, okay? I would never shortchange HMRC. HMRC is one of the most whimsiest things on planet Earth. I'm too broke for whimsy. There's no price tag on whimsy. What do you mean? Oh, what What silly goo? I'm downtrodden. You could be whimsical and broke. Lord knows I was for the longest time. Now I'm whimsical and less broke. At the risk of being one of the miserable people, I've been stuck in a rut while at work and some other stalled obligations. Really enjoyed the video, but I feel so lost on how to find whimsy again. I've been locked in and fighting to survive for so long. You turn to this topic again, I feel I'd love to hear people like you admire to stay strapped with a pocket full of sunshine. When I first met, I didn't anticipate such a large response. I kept the content short, lacking in nuance. I have an aunt that's a really hard worker. She'd often spend her 20s and 30s in an airport because she had to fly so much for work. She never gets to stay in the same place for too long, longer than a few days, and it became really exhausting for her well-being. Flash forward to a few years ago, I had to fly on my own for the first time and I reached out to her for advice. I was expecting pretty practical advice like checking a few hours beforehand, always travel with XYZ, but what she ended up saying when she travels is that she imagines everyone is a teddy bear waddling over to their childlike task. Like the guy in the business suit is actually a serious teddy bear going on a serious business meeting about honey. Something silly like that. A family of teddy bears might be traveling to Goldilocks' house. It sounds really silly, but advice really helped me cut through the monotony and the stress of flight and what was waiting for me on the other side because it was ridiculous yet grounding. Truthfully, I really struggle with the balance of work, stalled obligation, and keeping whimsical. Well, my aunt's so serious and so professional, yet she's such a beauty to be around. I don't know. It felt weird. I felt weird about it. I felt even weirder offering advice because I'm so flawed myself. Like my current job is working with kids, which is a little easy to be whimsical about. And if I worked in insurance or something, you know, sorry for the nothing burger of an answer, but I totally think so well. I think that's a simple way. Like I think adding a simple whimsy, like adding simple, funny things to life can be an easy way to start. You know. What did you miss? Or you don't want to know the horror. You don't want to know the horror. The horror game is the horror. Utilitarian positivity. I agree. There's just too much whimsy here. There's too much whimsy and joy, and I love everyone here. Everyone here is great. Maturing is the easy part of growing up. The hard part is holding on to the important things for your childhood. The things that make you, you. C.S. Lewis put it well, when I became a man, I put away the childish things, including the fear of childishness and the desire to be very grown up. Sad. Very sad. You're never too old to be whimsical, guys. You're never too old. Everyone loves this comment. Everyone loves this YouTuber. As should you. Go subscribe, gamers. Go subscribe. Go subscribe and get some whimsy in your life. All right. Get some whimsy in your life. There seems to be a lot of like. I'm 24 and I think I'm a fit. Damn, it seems to be like I'm Gen Z and I give up on success. Very introspective. An introspective zoomy, huh? Hi, I'm Gen Z and capitalism ruined my ability to relax. Yeah, capitalism will do that. It's kind of like standing there with a crowbar off screen. I hate it. Video gem instead of video slop. Amazing.